The electricity minister says the preferred option to deal with blackouts is to ramp up generation and bring down demand. Dr. Kgosientso Ramokgopa was outlining plans for load shedding yesterday following site visits to 15 power stations last month. He was appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa in February this year to deal with the severity of power cuts which have affected livelihoods and the economy. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi has that story.
South Africa's electricity demand outstrips supply. That's according to the electricity minister. Based on the summer season determinations, the peak demand can reach up to 32,000 megawatts. And with temperatures dropping, historical estimates show that the demand could reach 37,000 megawatts in winter, creating a shortfall of about 5,000 megawatts. To close the gap, Minister Ramokgopa reiterates that 6,000 megawatts is needed to balance the scales.
There are three ways of resolving this problem. The first one is to ensure that we ramp up generation capacity, and that explains the reason why we have been to Eskom just to ask the question from the various station managers, what is it that your station is doing unit by unit to ensure that we ramp up this generation. And then the second option that you can do is to ensure that we bring down this demand. The third option is our preferred option, is that you do both. You ramp up demand and ramp up generation and reduce demand. But as you reduce demand, you don't undermine the ability of households to meet their daily needs. You don't undermine the ability of commerce and business to operate.
As part of his diagnostic mission at Eskom, he crisscrossed about 15 power stations, mostly based in Mpumalanga, to understand the challenges faced by the utility. Among those he visited were Medupi and Kusile, the youngest coal power stations, with its first units commissioned in 2015 and 2017 respectively. He says amongst the widely reported corruption issues which have caused premature failure of units and wide use of wrong material is the speed of procurement, which hampers the speed at which units are returned back to supply power. Medupi and Kusile jointly provide 9,600 megawatts energy supply.
This is just shy of 20% of the installed capacity of Eskom is sitting with these two power stations. So if you were to use another reference, essentially these two stations are too big to fail, because you are going to see their impact on the energy availability factor across Eskom, but you are also going to see their impact on the stages or the levels of load shedding if these two stations fail.
Ramokgopa says some of the power plants will start losing units in the near future, further stripping the country of the needed megawatts provided by these units. He says amongst the many problems facing the power plants is human resource.
There's people issues there at Eskom. People issues nothing to do with the leadership, by the way. People issues to do with, if you like, job security. I told you that Camden is closing. There are a number of stations that are closing. Grootvlei, the units are gone. And not the units are going. That's people attached to that. And there is no additional incentive for people to apply themselves. The best that you need to run these plants don't see their future at Eskom. And I'm just saying it's a conversation we must have.
The minister is expected to brief cabinet in the coming days. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Mnisi at the Union Buildings in Pretoria.